Well, thank you so much for inviting me to Nordshipping. This is actually my first time ever being here, because I'm in the drilling industry, so I usually attend conferences related to drilling. I want to tell you a little bit about who NOV is. We're the biggest equipment manufacturer of drilling equipment in the world. We're really good in acquiring companies. So over the last 15 years, we acquired like 250 companies around the world. The most important acquisition, of course, was when we acquired High-Tech in Stavanger, the first Norwegian one. And I'm coming from the high-tech part of it, so that's when I became National Oilwell. We have also acquired another Norwegian company, which is Hydrolift, in 2002. In 2005, we merged with Varco and became National Oilwell Varco. In 2010, we acquired APL, which is located in Arendal. And finally, in 2012, we acquired NKT Flexibles. And by these two last acquisitions, we're really also focusing not only on the drilling aspect, but also on the floating production boats. Depending on the mood on the New York Stock Exchange, we're worth $30 billion US dollars. And we had a revenue last year of 20 billion. We are all around the world. So we are in 62 countries. We're 62,000 employees. And as you can see from this map, most of us are in US and North America. But we also have a really big presence here in Norway. We're more than 4,000 people in Norway. So we're big also in Norway. We have 3 different business segments that we report on. And the one that I'm going to focus on today is the rig technology segment, which is around about 50% of what we do. And rig technology, we're making the drilling packages. We're not making the ship or the semi itself, but we're making everything that goes, or we're making the tools that makes it possible to make a hole in the ground. We make winches and cranes, and as I said, we're also focusing on the floating production market right now. I loved playing with Lego when I grew up. And it's a fantastic invention. You can put it together and you can build whatever you want. It's modular, it fits together easily. You can easily disconnect it. So whatever tools you have or modular parts you have, you can make a fire truck here, as shown here. If you change out this guy with a nurse, you can easily change it to be an ambulance, for example. Or you can build a house, completely different application for it. And this is what we have been focusing on in the drilling industry for some time now. We are trying to put different parts together in a modular way so that the customer gets what he wants out of the drill ship. So this is an example of a cylinder rig. But actually, when we put together all these parts, we have 3 different solutions for heave compensating, for example. When we're drilling, we need the drill bit to be steady at the bottom. So then it's a challenge when the boat is going up and down. So we need to have compensating systems for this so that we can have a steady weight on bit all the time. We have 3 different systems. We have the cylinder rig, as shown here. We have the traditional drawwork with a top compensator, where we have the compensating system on the top of the derrick. Or we have the active heave drawwork. And we deliver all this. So it's all up to the customer what he wants to see. As you see here, we have moved the driller from the drill floor, and he's now sitting safely in a driller's cabin and controlling the machines. We have claimed for years that we have done this automatically. That's not the case. What we're doing is that we're doing it remotely, controlling it from the driller's cabin, but it's not automated. And that is our big development project now, is how can we automate the process. We need to be smarter. We need to move the people onshore instead of having them offshore. So autonomous drilling is what we're talking about now. I want to be able to have a button say start drilling, and then the machine is doing the drilling. And the operator should focus now on the well itself and not being, it didn't start, did it? Here we go. The driller now needs to focus on the well itself and not being the machine operator as he is today. He's machining the main components. So what we're doing now is that we have a wired pipe. We actually have a wire inside the drill pipe, so we can transmit in real time information from the well and up to the surface. And by doing this, we're really closing the loop. so that we can now control the drawworks, the mud pumps, and the top drive autonomously with information from the well and not from whatever the driller decides to drill at with the mud speed and things like that. So this is really the future. We believe that automation is going to be a big change in the industry. I'm changing to the floating production, storage, and offloading environment. As I mentioned, in 2010, we acquired APL. And that was our first move to actually look into the FPSO market. What APL is doing, they're making a very big, quick connection so that we can disconnect the production lines easy from the boat and get out of harsh way. You see the example here. So basically, it's a floating turret underneath. You pull it up into the boat. And the good thing with this is that it can then, the boat itself can rotate depending on the current and the wind and the waves, and always be in the correct position regarding the weather. So especially when it's bad, well, in harsh environment, this is important. In 2012, we acquired NKT Flexibles, and they're making these flexible lines or pipes that come into the boat. But what we've seen is that a lot of the tools that we use in drilling is the same for FPSO. It's winches, it's cranes, it's hose reels, all these parts. So if we are able to also start delivering the complete package in the FPSO market, we believe that we can save the customer money, because we've been really good in delivering on time, on budget, on drilling rigs, and we want to be able to do the same also in the FPSO market. So here the example is that you can disconnect the turret. You can disconnect the turret within 15 minutes and get out of the way. So what we're looking into is a modular design on FPSOs. Small, medium, and large. And we're trying to, and I'm careful using standard because nothing is standard. Not one of the drilling rigs that we have delivered is exactly the same, even if it's the same brand or the same type. But it's always tweaked a little bit, and it's up to the customer to decide what he wants. But if we can make 60 or 70% of the package the same or standard or modular, I think we can reduce the cost on the FPSOs and get a better delivery time on the FPSOs. I guess you got it now. The modular concept is something that we really look into. And in this project, we're working together with Ulstein. So Ulstein is the ones that building the boat, and we're building the equipment on the top. So this example here is that we want to have a working boat that can be a construction ship, as shown here. We can easily take it in, and we can modify it so that it becomes a well construction vessel. Or we can modify it so that it can be a pipe-laying vessel. So we can lay flexible pipes. So that's the vision that we have here. We call it Deep Water Enabler. And it's a really cool animation here. But the whole idea is to make this modular design so that depending on the market, if you need a construction boat, you can use that as a construction boat for so and so long. Then the market changes, and you don't need a construction boat anymore, but you do need a pipe-laying vessel. You can easily convert it to become that. And that takes away some of the risk that the ship owner has, because you know that you have a much bigger market area. You can easily change it. So the boat is prepared for this, all the loads and all these parts. I must admit, though, as I said, this is a really cool animation. You do need to take it into the shipyard. You can't just click a button and then convert it. But we can do that on the more mechanical part, though. So that's my message today. Thank you so much, everybody, for listening. And I'll be back here later on. Thank you.